My name's Angelo, and welcome to We Want Picks. We break down full fight cards every single week. We give you our picks, our bets, and our fantasy plays. Make sure you like and subscribe so you don't miss any of our content. And this is brought to you by Earn You. Earn You is the world's first sports and esports prediction game, allowing you to earn crypto risk-free. Check it out now at earnu.com. And ODDSJAM. ODDSJAM has the fastest real-time data integrations to spot discrepancies between different sportsbooks and helping users place risk-free bets. Check them out at oddsjam.com. Next up, at UFC 273, we have Jairzinho Rozenstruik taking on Marcin Tybura. Jairzinho Rozenstruik, 12-3 overall. He's 2-3 in his last 5, alternating wins and losses. Marcin Tybura is 22-7 overall. He's 4-1 in his last 5, coming off the decision loss to Volkov, where he just could not find the takedowns. And Jairzinho Rozenstruik's a very heavy-handed striker. He's coming off that one-sided loss to Curtis Blades, but before that, he had a really nice win over Augusto Sakai. And what was interesting about that fight was that we saw Jairzinho pushing the pace, moving forward, and historically, he's sort of a counter-striker. He waits, he takes his time, he just throws one big punch, and he ends up falling behind in the scorecards and losing a decision or just finding that big punch and making something happen. The biggest issue with Rozenstruik's style is if he can't win the striking exchanges, he has no backup plan. He has 0 takedowns in the UFC, and his takedown defense does sit at 75%. He has been taken down by basically every decent heavyweight that he has fought. Curtis Blades, obviously, Cyril Gane, and even Alistair Overeem all took Jairzinho Rozenstruik down. And Marcin Tybura is a grinder. He never quits. He's busy everywhere. His striking is just okay, and he is more of a punches and punches kind of guy. And the strikes are really there just to set up his takedowns, though. And if he gets a takedown, he will pound on you until you quit. He's not looking for submissions. He's not looking for precision. He will take you down and just busy on top, try to make something happen. And there was a period in time where Tybura was a stepping stone. He had losses to Verdum, Derek Lewis, Shamil, and Sakai. And then he sort of put things together, and he's gone on his own streak, and he's had a lot of his own success recently. I think this is as simple as striker versus grappler, this matchup. You know, Rozenstruik's a very good striker, but he can have low volume. Tybura is a very, very solid grappler for a heavyweight, but he has had chin issues in the past. The odds makers, they have Rozenstruik just moving as, you know, the line's moving a little bit. He's becoming a bigger favorite as the week goes on. I like Marcin Tybura. I think Marcin Tybura should actually be the favorite. I think it should be minus 120 for him instead of plus 130. So I think Tybura's got a real clear path to victory here. Just take Rozenstruik down, work from there. Obviously avoid the big strikes. So Tybura's the pick, but you got to be very careful when you have anybody fighting a giant heavyweight striker like Rozenstruik. Checky boy, what do you think?
I think that Josh Locks just donated $20, and that's the most incredible thing I've ever seen in my life. Thank you,
Josh Locks. Thank you very much for the donation. As always, it is incredibly appreciated, and hopefully we continue to make you some money.
Yeah, and speaking of locks, for the first time ever, I'm not doing that. But I see this almost as the same as the Aspen Ladd fight. I look at that fight and I say I think Aspen Ladd is the overall better fighter in that matchup. I look at this fight and I agree with you. I think that Marcin Tybura is overall the more well-rounded fighter in this matchup. And I 100% agree that this is grappler versus striker. It's either going to be Rozenstruik knocks him out going for a takedown, or Tybura is able to get the takedown and wins the fight. So I don't think there's a lot of breakdown in this fight. I think it's very cut and dry. Either Tybura is able to get the takedowns. He was 0-16 on takedowns versus Volkov. If he does that again, he's going to lose the fight just like he lost that fight, or he's going to get knocked out. He's got to get a takedown early, establish that grappling ability, wear down Rozenstruik a little bit so those power shots aren't quite as powerful later on if he does happen to land on them. But yeah, I think this is 100%. Either Rozenstruik gets the knockout or Tybura gets the grappling advantage, is able to control him. And with that said, I'm with you. I like Tybura in this fight.
Yeah, and you mentioned he couldn't get the takedowns against Volkov. And if you go back and watch our breakdown going into that fight, I said he was going to struggle with those takedowns because he relies on holding you against the cage. Like, his takedowns are not Curtis Blades. He doesn't lower his level, take a shot, and shoot a takedown. He bullies you to the ground. He holds you against the cage, trips, drags. And Volkov is just too tall, too long, can spread the legs really wide and defend those. So he was never going to have that success against Volkov with the way that he wrestles. But Jairzinho Rozenstruik is not very, he's got wrestling takedown defense because he's just strong. He just lifts underhooks, where I think Marcin Tybura can get him against cage and get that done. But certainly his teeth can leave his mouth in that fight as well. What I will say is, Monkey Knife Fight has something called Knockout Kings. You pick any 3 fighters on the card. Any 3 fighters on the card. And if any one of them wins by KO or TKO, you get a 25% net return on your profit. If 2 win, you 2.5 times your money. Rozenstruik, while I think he loses, he absolutely can win by knockout. He should be one of your 3 in Knockout Kings. Check that out at weonpicks.com/MKF. What do you think of DraftKings? I'm not comfortable enough with either one of these guys probably to put in DraftKings.
Pass.
I agree. There's a lot of fights on this card. You do not need to force anybody into your DraftKings lineup. And I just mentioned Monkey Knife Fight. Don't even mess with the strike line. Just throw Rozenstruik in your Knockout Kings. Do you agree, Jacob Lyons?
100%. I don't know what you said, but 100%.
Okay, well, we've got you trained
You got
like
me
a
trained.
dog.
Yeah, there you go.